Hello there, fellow fans of Hollow Knight. I have been well and truly out of the loop for the past few weeks on all things Silksong for reasons that you will find out soon enough. So let's catch up on everything together. But before we get into it, it's time for the usual spiel. There's been no update on the release date of the game. I don't know whether to say there's been no news directly shared by Team Cherry, because that comes down to whether you consider hearing it through someone else as news. You can decide that one for yourself. The most significant news is Team Cherry's attendance at Bit Summit Drift, which took place over the past weekend. Bit Summit is, in their own words, Japan's industry-leading independent game development festival in Kyoto. Founded in 2012, the event, organised by the Japan Independent Games Aggregate, showcases indie games and provides a platform for developers to present their work, network, and gain exposure. This year, featured titles included Tokyo Coffee, Grinding in the Pandemic, Haunted Streamer, Fairy Carrots, and Deviator, that I actually covered in more detail in a previous video. Now, this isn't Team Cherry's first Bit Summit event, which is unsurprising given their strong passion for supporting and uplifting other indie developers, but I am curious as to why they decided to attend this one. To be clear, Silksong wasn't on the public list of featured games, nor was Fearless Fox, and I know, but I had to check just in case. But the reason I'm curious is that it's not exactly an easy journey to go from Adelaide to Kyoto. Chances are they would have had to change at Sydney, and even Sydney to Kyoto is nearly 10 hours direct. It's not exactly popping next door. Then again, Japan is one of my favourite countries to visit, so you wouldn't have to convince me very hard to travel however many hours it took. Team Cherry also made no prior announcement that they would be attending, an excellent decision from them, but a few devs were happy to bump into them and shared photos on social media with Ari and William looking well. Squid Shock, the studio behind Bow, half of the Teal Lotus, which came out recently by the way, I'm having a lot of fun with it, claimed to have even asked about Silksong, with Ari happily responding that it's coming. The posts were then deleted. I don't believe we've heard anything from the Deviator team, but one of the Squid Shock devs have since confirmed that they removed the post themselves. So that means that they weren't asked to remove it, and I'll pop the comment on screen if you'd like to read it in full. I felt conflicted about whether to report on this, because on the one hand, it's great seeing Team Cherry alive, well, and attending events. That's always a positive. It's no one's business, but it is good for devs to have work days that aren't just them working in isolation on the game. I hope they got what they needed from the event, but then on the other hand, yeah, it is a privacy concern. I waited a few days to decide, and everything has kind of been posted across the internet by now, so much that I'm probably the last person to talk about it. Before finishing on this point, I feel like it's my duty just to remind everyone not to hound the team. If you happen to bump into them in real life, or any game devs for that matter, it's obviously very cool, but be sure to be respectful. Next on my list, the registered trademark for the word Silksong in Australia has officially entered the register as of the 8th. It was accepted earlier in May of this year, but first registered back in 2022. A trademark can be a special symbol, word, or name that identifies and represents a product or company. It helps people know who makes the product and prevents others from using the same symbol, word, or name for their own products. It's very typical for gaming devs to trademark logos, characters, titles, and so forth. What's not clear to me is how it took over a year and a half to go from registered to appearing on the register. Surely registered implies that the application had been approved by that point, but again, not my area of expertise and not worth spending too much time on, as it doesn't really change anything for us. A couple of social media accounts have popped up on Instagram and TikTok sharing footage from the E3 demo, so nothing that we haven't seen before. I thought it was worth including this, as they're also actively spreading unconfirmed information as well, like how much the game will cost. I know we can all make an educated guess, but right now that is still an unknown. So do be careful out there and don't believe everything that you see online. Okay, I think that's everything for today, but do let me know if you're aware of anything I've missed. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.